So in this video, we're going to be going over the assembly for the train. So this is where we're going to be putting all the pieces together. When you start up a document originally, you will have assembly 1 pre-made for you. If for some reason you can't find it or you deleted it, an easy way to add one in is just go to your plus button and then create assembly. Okay, so very simple. What we're going to do now is we are going to add in our pieces. So we're going to start with our train body. So I'm going to place that in. And then what I'm going to do is ground it. So I'm going to fix it. Sorry. In another program it's called grounding. In this one it's fixing. Basically they both mean the same thing. It's locking it in place. So when you try to do a wiggle test where you click and wiggle, it's not going anywhere. It is stuck in place. Basically this one and the cube will be kind of locked together, so when you're flipping things around and attaching things, your train body won't be scooting all over the place. It'll stay put where you want it to be. Alright, so now we're going to add in some more pieces. So we need 1 stack, 1 hitch magnet, 1 hitch peg, 4 wheels, 4 axle pegs, 1 for each of the wheels, 2 linkage arms, 4 linkage pegs, and 1 cow catcher. So those are all the pieces we're going to need. So now we can start attaching them. So how we're going to do this is we are going to use this revolution mate. So we're going to click on this one. So we are going to click on our bottom edge of our stack. And this one's a little tricky, but you need to get the bottom edge, there we go, the bottom edge of the hole for the stack. So one thing you might notice with yours is it might be flipped the wrong way. So all you need to do is click on this arrow to flip it the other way. Easy as that. No big deal. And then green check mark. And I can show you now that it is stuck in place. It's exactly where we want it to be. You might notice, it might be a little hard to see on the screen or even on yours, that it is rotating. But because it's a cylindrical object, it doesn't really matter too much. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we are going to connect our hitch magnet and hitch peg together. So this is what I want it to look like. The reason for that is 1, it's just easier to move over here, and then 2, makes it a little easier to line things up in a second. So next you're going to click on our, you don't want to go too far and you want right here. And you want this bottom edge. And I can see it flipped the wrong way, so I just need to flip that. Click solve just to make sure it's exactly how I want it to be, and it is. So now it is fully attached. Alright, next we can start with the wheels. So I'm going to select one of these holes, and then the back of one of my wheels. Double check to make sure it's what I want. Yep, it is. Okay, and then I'll just repeat that for the other 3 wheels. You can see how this one's backwards, so I just gotta flip it. Oh, same for that one. Okay. And here's a better way to see that it's actually revolving around. So we can see that it's spinning around, no problem. Alright, so now we can add our axle pegs. So this one you gotta be careful. See how there's 2 things you can select? You want to select the bottommost one. So if you're somebody working on a laptop This might be a little bit of a pain because you need to zoom in and out so much, but if you are on a desktop or just using a mouse on your laptop, it'll make it a little easier. Oh, where's that last piece? There we go. So you can probably see how much I'm zooming in and out. So it's important to do that. All right, next we are going to add on our linkage arm. So I'm going to select this edge and this edge together. Oh, I made a mistake. So what you can do, if you make a mistake, you could just double click on the feature and fix it pretty easily. So not a big deal. All right, so looking at this, you're looking at it and being like, oh, it's connected. Not really. So it's connected on one side, but not the other. So now we need to connect it. So I'm gonna see if oh, that is not what I want to click on. I want to click on this surface and this one. All right. So just to give you a heads up, in some programs it's very picky, where I clicked on the back edge of this one and placed it in, and then I clicked on the front edge and placed it in. Some programs will let you do that, other ones won't, where if you pick the back edge for the first one, you have to pick the back end for the second one. So apparently this program isn't as picky for that. All right, so now we're going to add in the next one. And sometimes you got to look from the top to make sure it's actually lined up the way you want, because you don't want to see this little peg. This little part of the peg should be covered with your linkage arm. All right, just make sure those are connected nicely. There we go. Not all that smooth, but they're connected. All right, now we need to connect our little linkage pegs. So these would be the piece that kind of hold on the linkage arm. What is it selecting? Oh, there we go. All right, so next we are going to do the cow catcher. This one can be a little tricky depending on where you click. So the first one that I like to put in is this circle right here, or the hole. There we go. And when you click on the next one, you need to click on this edge right here. The reason for that is if you click on this one or this one, it's going to stick out too far and you want it to be nice and flush. All right, we can see it's the wrong way, so we're going to flip it. Okay, now I'm going to click on this one. And hopefully I can see what I want to click on. Yes, I can. A little hard to see, but I can still get to it. All right, if it's not as easy to get to, all you got to do is kind of rotate the cow catcher around, and then you'll see what you're looking for. All right, so I'm going to make sure I get that side. I'm going to click solve to make sure it's actually lined up the way I want it to be. Yes, it is. And we are all set. So everything's now connected. And it looks good. Alright, so that is how to do the assembly. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to do the exploded view. So that's where we pull it all apart. And we're going to need both of these for making our work drawing later on. Alright, so good luck.